before we even get started, I think we kind of have to make this distinction, that difference between treasury companies that just buy Bitcoin and put it in the treasury. Right. That's also a Bitcoin treasury company. And then there's like treasury companies that buy Bitcoin, but also do financial engineering. How do you look at treasury companies?
Yeah, there's the way I try and explain it from the way I see it. There's two ends of the spectrum. There's the end where you've got the Bitcoin. You've got the company that you've been trying to orange pill your whole like existence in Bitcoin. You've got your favorite pub, bar, cafe, restaurant, butcher's, baker's, candlestick maker. Wherever you go, you're like, do you accept Bitcoin? Do you accept Bitcoin? Do you accept Bitcoin? And the reason you want that business to accept Bitcoin is, one, because yes, you want to be able to use your Bitcoin there, and it's a lot easier than you getting in and out of fiat and doing all this kind of nonsense. But because you care about that business and you want that business to be around in the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. And the only way they're going to outpace inflation, regulation, policy change, taxation is if they protect themselves by stacking Bitcoin onto their balance sheet. That is the kind of company I want to be stacking Bitcoin onto their balance sheet. Or this is how MicroStrategy started, right? This is how Saylor started. Sitting there, $50 million, melting ice cube. Let's stick that on the balance sheet in Bitcoin. Since then, it's got way more sophisticated. But that initial idea of protecting our business, our employees, our families by stacking Bitcoin on the balance sheet because it's a far better store of value than fiat currency, I'm all down for that. Then you have the other end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is where you've got a venture capitalist company with a posse of investors that are committing money to this venture capitalist company, that are going out into the market to find people that are, what's the word? Sympathetic to the idea of starting a Bitcoin treasury company to literally, all they're going to do is stack Bitcoin. And what they'll do is they'll find these people. They will then acquire an existing company on the stock exchange of that country. So they're looking all over the place, all over these different countries. They'll find an existing company. That existing company could just be a shell company, like a zombie company, just ticking over, doing very, very little, but it's listed. So that's going to save a hell of a lot of time to start a new company, go through the process, getting it listed. You can just buy. So you enter into an agreement where you buy that company that's already listed, and then you just change the sticker symbol and you put a new name on it, and you say, right, this is now called XYZ company, and it's a Bitcoin treasury company, and they're just going to buy Bitcoin under the guise of maybe they'll still operate as whatever company that they were doing before, and they'll keep the chairman on and the CFO, the existing people. And then all the VC money flows into that. Then the VCs will start pumping the headlines. There's a new, I bet one's been released today. Have you even looked? There'll be one, at least one or two a week. And the headlines will start coming out. XYZ company to become Bitcoin treasury company and commit to buying 150 Bitcoin by the end of this week. And then the full transparency, and it will be, it's always the same one or two sentences. And the hype gets going and going and going and going. And then retail want to come in and start buying. And retail, where's that money locked up? It's locked up in people's pension funds that they're not allowed sometimes to get access to Bitcoin directly. So they're looking for proxies. They're looking for different other ways to get into stacking Bitcoin. So all of this money just starts coming into these companies who are buying Bitcoin. And on whose behalf? Well, it's not on your behalf as the buyer. You're just going to end up owning the ticker symbol. You don't get access to the Bitcoin. You're getting exposure by proxy. And I don't know, man. This sounds like such a lot of pump and dump action, because the VC just wants the Bitcoin, or to just dump the price whenever the price is as high as they possibly think they can get. They're looking for the exit to give back to their investors. I mean, I don't know. You can't stop it. It's here. It's happening. I just want people to be aware of what's going on behind the scenes. And behind the scenes is not always what it seems. So enter into these Bitcoin treasury companies with your eyes wide open. Just stack sats at the end of the day. There's nothing better than stacking sats and putting it onto your hardware wallet. But of course, everybody's in a different situation. Everything's different in every different country. Everyone's at a different stage in their life. And like you said earlier, you're an adult. It's your money. Do what with it what you will. This is just what I've seen, and that's my take on it.
There's literally been one yesterday. The news articles came out like 19 hours ago, 4 hours ago, a day ago. It's called Satsuma Technology. I've no clue what they're doing, but they raised 280 million, I think, to buy like 1,000 Bitcoin, something like that. Yeah, like Bitcoin firm Satsuma raises 280 million and adds 1,000 BTC to the treasury. I have no clue what they're doing. They're
What's the name of it? What's the name of the company?
they are UK based actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
So they're around since 2021. And
Satsuma Technology, AI agent subnet ecosystems. See if you can just hit on the history. If you can find history of Satsuma, there'll probably be some kind of merge or like acquisition.
what is that? I think that's not the right thing. Satsuma Technology PLC, and this literally came out like like not even a day ago.
Right. Website. Let's go to the website. Agent powered. Built on Tau. What the hell is Tau?
Tau.
Yeah, subnet. Tokenization. Look at that. What the hell is that? Like, straight away shitcoins. Look at all that shitcoinery. Wow. Deploy on-chain agents. Okay, keep going down. Yeah, wow. All right, okay. So here's another one.
It's interesting. They are mixing shitcoins with AI and just raising money to buy Bitcoin. Yeah. And
do you know what Metaplanet do?
No clue. Like I've never researched their company.
So they're a hotel. They own one hotel. This Japanese company owned one hotel, the Royal Oak Hotel, I think it's called. That was it. That was their business. But you go to their website and they're like, no, it's Web3 solutions, this and that and the other thing. But like, no, the business was a budget hotel. The company gets acquired and it gets like redesigned as a Bitcoin treasury company.
Is the Bitcoin treasury companies, are those the new shitcoins?
I think so. I think it's a craze. I think it's ICOs, DeFi, Web3, NFT, all, that people will say it's a bridge. It's a bridge between the fiat rails where all of this money is locked up. Nobody can get access to Bitcoin, like the funds, because the regulations in some parts of the country, in some parts of the world, it's impossible for big funds, sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, whatever, to access Bitcoin. So people are saying, well, this is great now because now they can just buy the stock because it's just listed on the stock exchange. And so now they're getting access to Bitcoin, and this gives the Bitcoin treasury company the ability to buy the Bitcoin. So that's a good thing. You're like, well, okay, who built the bridge? Is it a two-way bridge? Who's charging the tolls on that bridge? There are too many questions about this right now, and it's got so frothy so quickly that is always a red flag. This is what happened in the ICO craze 2017. There was a new ICO, initial coin offering. Oh my God. Like it was happening daily, if not hourly at one stage. It was just a craze. And when you think back to like 99, there was the .com craze. So I think we're in a Bitcoin treasury company craze right now. It's crazy. Seriously, steer clear again. is all I'm going to say. It's just stack your sats, stay humble. Don't sell any Bitcoin to try and get the pump on the next Bitcoin Treasury company, so then you can sell out as soon as you can to try and buy back more Bitcoin. I know degens are going to do that. There's no doubt. But again, you're an adult. It's your money. Do what you want. But go into this eyes wide open. This is going to end in tears. There's the what's the saying? Fuck around, find out. I'm changing that to fiat around and find out.
Fiat around.
Yeah, if you start fiating around, you're going to find out. Because you're now walking into this financial engineering trap. And Wall Street are here now, right? That no one's denying Wall Street are in. We've got the ETFs have been around, a year and a half. All the financial engineering wizardry that's going on in the background is designed to steal your Bitcoin. That's it. They want the Bitcoin.
Super interesting. And we've already come kind of to the end point of the conversation, but I love the history that we've gone through for fiat and kind of showed that the fiat minds are kind of ended a little bit, or in a big way, maybe even the Bitcoin ecosystem, and how fiat play games are kind of now being played with or within Bitcoin. That's I think it's just something very important, I'm grateful that we brought that up today, because I think it's something that as educators we have kind of the responsibility to show those things, and I couldn't have chosen a better guest for doing that. So thank you so much, Daniel, for being on and doing that. Before we come to the end routine, I have one question that I asked each and every one of my returning guests, and the question is, what have you learned outside of Bitcoin since your last appearance?
Hey, you're going to take me down all kinds of rabbit holes here. What have I learned? The most awful thing I learned is about the solar geoengineering projects that are going on above our heads without our consent. And I thought for years and years that was just one of these other silly conspiracy theories, but just like every other conspiracy theory, it just turns out to be, more true than you could have ever believed. And that's thanks to, I read a book by Peter Kirby. Somebody put me onto him. And he goes through the whole history of weather warfare, weather modification, and links it all back to the times of the Manhattan Project and Project Paperclip, and he's really opened up my eyes. So now, when you go outside and you see all of this gridded lines in your sky, it happens over Amsterdam, I know, happens across France, across Germany, across pretty much most parts of Europe, certainly across the UK. Just look up and ask yourself what's going on. That isn't normal, and start digging. There's an arm of the government here. It's a research arm. It's called ARIA, Advanced Research. I always forget what the I stands for. Whatever. Let me get it for you, because then people can Google it for themselves. ARIA, and this was funded with £800 million from the government, and it's based on DARPA, which is a secret US Black Ops operation.
Is it the areas of research interest?
Advanced Research and Innovation Agency, ARIA. So if you just Google that and dimming the sun, you'll get, this is the stuff coming out of the UK at the moment. Yeah, BBC, first hit. Experiments to reflect sunlight by ARIA. Controversial experiments exploring the science around reflecting sunlight with an aim to bring about global cooling have been announced. And this is just insanity. Absolute insanity. So the idea being that you use airplanes to spray reflective particulate into the atmosphere to reflect the sun off the planet, so we can stay beneath this 2-degree warming, net zero 2030, like all of this climate bullshit that we've been led to believe over the last 2-3 decades, all nonsense. And this is all part of it. And yeah, that's one thing that I've learnt about since we last came on, and you might have seen me tweeting about, because there's nothing I can't stop them, but I can help raise awareness, and that's the only thing people can do. And I've seen a lot more people waking up to it, and people come up to me now at conferences and they're like, "Oh man, I wish you hadn't freaking put me onto that, because now I see it, I can't unsee it."
Yeah, ignorance can be bliss.
Yeah, yes, it can.
But Bitcoiners usually don't do that. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be into Bitcoin. That's super interesting. I've heard about that a lot from guests, not a lot, but like a few guests brought it up, and never really researched it. And then when you see the news articles of like, just like, oh yeah, they actually do that. it's not a theory. It's like they talk about that. Like they're not even hiding any of those. But it's interesting. We have entered in, as you know, where the previous guest is asking a question for the next guest without knowing who the next guest is. And the previous guest asked you a simple question that I never asked on the Bitcoin podcast, which sounds weird. But the question is, why does Bitcoin exist?
Pure necessity. It was time. Yeah, that's why. Necessity. We just can't. We can't carry on. Well, when people realize that they've given up their whole lives, they've given up their knowledge, they've given up their skill set, they've given up their time, they've sacrificed time with their family to work as hard as they possibly can, and in reward, they're being paid with worthless debt discharging instruments that are completely controlled by central powers, and that it's just that they believe this is a medium of exchange. People will wake up and they will find Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was there for this moment. And yeah, that was, yeah, it comes down. We needed it.
Thank you for watching this video. This was only a snippet of the podcast. And if you want to watch the full episode and get all of the context of this episode, you can click right here or here. Oh, maybe also here.